Perfect. All right. So first of all, I just want to thank you and acknowledge Letitia and the IterateUX community for creating, honestly, such a vibrant design community. I know at Collab Collective, we're trying to, create that warm, welcoming vibe too. So yeah, I know Letitia's putting like lots of time into it. So I just want to give a shout out, and maybe we can give a virtual applause to say thanks. So yeah, so with that, my name is Josh Loh. I'm a UX designer. My background actually is in civil engineering. I was a consultant for 7 years in the mining industry, and then also 2 years in the high-rise residential construction. And then I switched into tech. And then now I have my own freelance branding and design consultancy, which is called Core Creative, and also the founder of Collab Collective, which is a digital freelance community. We're hyper local in Vancouver, but we also want to extend out to whoever's interested. So we do, yeah, like Leticia said, we do have a podcast, and we're just getting started. So if you want to know any particular topics, tech related on like say design or digital marketing or the overlap of certain stuff for development, let me know, and then yeah, we'll create some good episodes for you. Okay, so the agenda for today, we have 3 parts. First part is what is design ops. Part 2 is intro to Notion, and part 3 we're gonna cover some use cases of design ops in Notion. I do have to apologize. I'm a new father, so I haven't been having a lot of sleep, and so I wish I wanted to put better use cases into this presentation. So if it's not too fleshed out, I can always share more if you want to contact me after. All right. So what is design ops? It's still a buzzword. I mean, it all started with BizOps, and then we all heard of DevOps, and then now there's something called Research Ops. So it's not fair that design's kind of left out. So sure, why not? Let's include them too. We'll pop in Design Ops. So this is the definition by the Nielsen Norman Group. Design ops refers to the orchestration and optimization of people, processes, and craft in order to amplify design's value and impact at scale. So what does that really mean? I mean, there are tons of definitions out there, and all varies and depending on the size of the organization and the goals that they have. But for me, this is my definition. It's essentially, operations and design. So I'm oversimplifying it, but at the end of the day, operations revolves around 2 main things. It's the tools and workflows, and then design is all about creating solutions to problems, and it's doing it in a way that has a positive experience. So that's essentially what design is for. And in between, connecting the 2 fields, it always involves coordination with people, and this requires communication. So in a nutshell, going from left to right, it's the use of tools and workflows in coordinating with people and teams in order to create solutions and experiences. All right. It's a new aspect of design practice management that emphasizes process over practice. So if you're a person who loves to just like tweak things and are obsessed with like the way things work and it's a well-oiled machine, that's what design ops covers. Because when you have good process, it lets others in the team focus on their tasks. So essentially, design ops is always related to like teamwork. You can do it on your own, but it's way more impactful when you have a team. So who does it apply to? Project managers, design leads, team leaders, operations, but essentially it's anyone. And still, it's a relatively emerging field out of UX, and it's very, very broad. Like I did a lot of research and didn't realize how far it covered. So, but it's important to understand the macro context before we dive into the specific areas to understand the use cases. So. But at the end of the day, it's anyone that focuses on scaling and amplifying design processes. So how? Anything process or operations related is always deals with the how. All right, so let's break it down to three main areas of application. This is taken from the Nielsen Norman Group. They're 101, and it's to provide, basically this is to provide like a type of design ops menu when coming up with design ops products. So we explore how we work together, which again that touches on the people, on the communication, and how we get work done, which is the tools and workflows, and how work creates impact, and that relates to the solutions experience. So how we work together, it covers three components. It's how we organize, how we collaborate, and how we humanize. And so I'm going to break this down further. So in terms of how we work together, we want to break it down in the organizational structures, team roles, definitions. And then in terms of how we collaborate, this consists of like meetings, communications in companies, the cultures. And then humanize is like the hiring process, the onboarding, career development. So we're basically looking at all these elements in a company or organization or a team, and identifying how this all works together. So this wraps up in how we work together. How we get work done. It's more action oriented. It's all about standardizing, harmonizing, and prioritizing. So under standardize, this includes design process, coming up with a design language, having consistent tools for people to use. Harmonizing. So this is about creating design systems, having shared resources, asset management, and all right. Prioritize is task grooming, overview, dashboard, and action-oriented workflow. And finally, our work creates impact. It's about measuring, socializing, and equipping. So Peter Drucker says what gets measured gets managed, right? So it's important that we have our design metrics, identify what's the definition for completion and milestones. In terms of socializing, it's important to have in-house training, reward and recognition in the company, and then defining what the values are. And then finally, how work creates impact. It's important that we equip our team members with skills training, playbooks, and having workshops. So to summarize all that, this is basically the design ops menu. So how do we apply design ops then? Use this as a reference to identify any like pain points in your organization, and then it'll help you come up with products and solutions to improve the various areas. So yeah, and again, you want to break it down to how we work together, how we get work done, and how our work creates impact. So in terms of our example for Notion, I'm going to be covering these items in pink. So how we can create like team roles, definitions, how can we optimize the whole meeting, like creating meeting agendas. Under standardized, there's design process, so like following the sprint methodology. And then prioritize, there's task planning and having some overview dashboard. And again, going with creating design metrics on like completions and things like that. So that concludes part one. So intro to Notion. Okay, so how does it relate to all this? Well, let me introduce one of my favorite tools. It's essentially a dynamic system, and I always think it's like a combination of like Google Drive, Trello, Evernote, Sheets, and you know any other Word document system into one. So, and the thing I like about it is it's a living document, so you kind of like grow. It evolves as the company grows as well. So at the end of the day, it's just about getting the job done. So having systems and processes to just complete the task and creating more output, being more efficient that way. All right. All right, I'm gonna now share my screen for Notion. Any questions so far?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so all right, I'm just gonna share. This is Notion. So it's like a blank canvas, and you can kind of have. I'm going to do a little demo here. So I'll just break down all these little elements that make up Notion. So it's basically like a Word documentation. You can write anything down, and then there's such things called the blocks when you hover over. So there's this drop down. You can add in like to-do list, things like that, and then you can check them off. You can hover them, and so the good thing about this is you can actually like reorganize, put them into columns. You can There's all these Word documentation elements like headings, bullet points. There's pictures and stuff too. So you can add in an image or video. You can pull it from Unsplash. And then you can also resize it if you want. So that's kind of blocks. And there's like so many different ways that you can incorporate it. You can put in databases, which I'll cover. And then again, there's images, videos. You can embed like Google Drive documents, Google Maps, Figma, which I'll show you, Abstract, InVision. It's really great. So it's basically it's a place where all your documents like live in one place instead of have it live in Slack or it's just distributed everywhere. There's Loom as well and Typeform. So the list goes on. It's really great. All right, so that's blocks. The next thing I want to share with you are toggles. So toggle is essentially, this would be our topic one. And then when you can have like nested notes here. So this could be category 1, category 2, so on and so forth. And you can just keep on going. And so it's nice because you can actually minimize everything and it keeps everything just clean and minimal. So that's toggles. Database. Here's an example of a database with views. So essentially what you can do is, how you would do that is you add plus, and then let's say I want to do a Kanban board. So these are all different databases. There's like tables, which is kind of like Excel. There's a calendar database. There's a list. So if I want to do a Kanban board, so this could be like tasks, and then the default is not started, in progress, completed. So this basically covers Trello, which is awesome. And they have like draggable cards, and you can click on it. It'll open up, things like that. And then within that, you can actually create your own properties. So you can add in like, so in this case, there's status, and then you can create your own status as well. You can assign a task to certain names. And then this is like a text property. You can change it into dates, checkboxes, things like that. And it gets really powerful and like when you get into formulas and relations, but I won't go into that. So that's a little bit about databases. And then what you can do, and so this is another form of that. So I'll delete this. Now, this is like a task database, like a master task database. And it's in a table format. So I have like, this is actually an example for my Collab Collective team. So you can open up. So this task is like homework for landing page. And this came from like a meeting date, and we're going to assign it to Kevin, and here's the deadline. So everything's all summarized here, but the good thing about it is there's this views table where you can filter out certain things. So if you just want my task only, then it's only going to filter out things that's just for me. So this is great for like, again, big teams, especially now that we're all in a remote environment. It's good to collaborate and assign different tasks. And so we can also switch to a calendar view. So let's see here. So these are previous tasks that we've created for like deadlines. So it's good to just view in that setting. And then also if we wanted to create a new one, well, actually I already created, this is a Kanban board. So it's the same information, the same database, but with different views, which I think is really, really powerful. So for example, this column here is like April 21st meeting. So these are all the tasks that we created in that meeting. So it's good to track. And again, so there's certain information that's showing in each card. So there's a lot of names here, but we're assigning who this task is for, the deadline, and then when it's finally completed, it's complete. You can just check it off. And then it's a good way, if you're like a project manager or a team lead, you can oversee what is going on. It's like a nice eagle eyes view. So that is a little bit of the database, and then templates. So what I've done here, so you can click on here, go all the way down, and create a template button. So that's what I did here. Whoops. So I've created a weekly template or a weekly to-do list, and all you have to do is just click on it, and then it produces this content right away. And you can basically create any type of forms or information or format that you would use consistently, so you're not like retyping it again. So this saves you a lot of time, and again, it standardizes it, so it's really very handy. So that's a little bit in templates. I'll show you more creating templates within cards and stuff too. And then finally, there's collaboration. So if I share this screen to, let's see here, I gotta move this out of the way. If you go on the share button, you can actually add people to this page, and they have access to it, and you guys can collaborate live together, which is really, really helpful. Okay, so that concludes part 2. Part 3 is the use cases. So this is where I wish I had spent more time organizing for you guys, but essentially these are just examples of what I've done, and I could have made it more neater. But so for design, this is what we've done for Collab Collective and for our team. This is a copy of our page. So we're doing like a landing page design, and then we just created like the purpose, goals, things like that. And then we've created links. So for example, like Andrew, he was exploring, this is some information from our brand exercise, and then he created like a mood board. And again, it's just a good way to share that information. And then what Andrew can do is he can copy this link to this page. And the good thing about Notion, it's all web-based, it's all browser-based. So you share that link and then paste it in, in a message, and then I have access to all this, which is great. Another cool thing is this is where you can actually embed Figma files in here. So it's just loading it up. And so now we started wireframing, and it's all living within Notion. Again, that's awesome. And if we want, we can make a comment here and just add comments. So I really love that, because there's other programs like Asana and I think like Monday.com and all those other things, but I haven't seen a program like this where you can embed files all in the same place. So that's pretty awesome. Gut test, you can embed like a slide. So this is like a gut test that we did, and we're just trying to rank the different styles, so we can attach that to. You could, add in certain files and things like that. And then these are just examples of links of websites. So it acts as like a good repository of like information, resources. So that is that for the landing page. And then customer journey map. If you guys like Miro, we did some brainstorming, and again, we've imported our Miro board in here, which is great. And there you go. So now it's all loaded up. Again, that's pretty amazing. And if you wanted to, like, you can actually work within this page too. So that's pretty fantastic. All right. Now, this is what I did. I actually did like a experience audit or a UX audit for a certain website. And what I did was I summarized this as like a working document, and then I shared it, and I sent it to my client. So, and again, these are like good use of the toggles, right? It keeps it clean. About Orkin, what's the value proposition, things like that. Here's some personas that I was doing for fun, like meet Susan. You click it, opens her image, and this is kind of summarizing what she thinks, feels, does. So that's like persona number 1, persona number 2, so on and so forth. So that's a neat way. And again, I've created like columns. Okay, so what I've done is I kind of like tore the website into pieces. So I've used these columns. So I've dropped this. So here's actually the sitemap, and I've done screen captures and copied it and pasted it. If I want to click closer, I can just double click on it. So this is the sitemap that lives in there, and it's my own notes. And then here's the page content breakdown. And then on the right here is actual images that associate with that. So say in this website, there's a homepage, residential, commercial. So I drop this down. Here's the actual screen capture. And then on the left, I've wrote down my own notes on like hero section, and then the common pest section, which is here. And then, so I just like started commenting, which is great. And then again, people, if I share this with others, they can comment, and then they can say, this is awesome. And then you hit send, and there's a little comment bubble, and it creates a thread. So it's really great for collaboration. So there's that. Again, I just broke all the pages down, which is really neat. I'm just going to open this up. So that's that for like information architecture. For content strategy critique, I think I basically did the same structure. Usability. Okay, so this is cool. I pretended to be, Susan, and I was running through the website. And I'm gonna, how do I mute this? So I attached a Loom screen recording, and then it has my face in there. And so again, this is great for like user testing. If you have in-person interviews, you can just actually see their reaction and see how they navigate through the website. And all you do is just attach a Loom video in there. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so there's all these check marks and things like that. So that was pretty detailed. I hope I didn't bore you. And then there's, more things. Let's see here. What did I do? Oh, I attached like a PDF. Okay, I won't dive into that. So that is another use case for, say, experience audit. And then for content planning, so for my Collab Collective podcast, this is great. So I use the Kanban board database. And actually, do you think we should take a little break? I wonder if I'm boring people.
I think we are all having fun. The chat is going crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Going on
You're definitely not boring anyone.
Okay. Great.
We are all like, wow.
Mind blown. Okay. Oh yeah. Real quick. I created this little page. So there's this Q&A here. I shared it. I'm actually gonna copy the link right now, and I'll put it into. Well, actually, Tisha, if you can scroll at the very top again and then copy that link, because I can't really get out of the share screen. But people, you guys can click on the link and then write in your questions, like how do I use Notion, or comments like feedback. You need to improve on your speaking. Yeah, so just do that. And guys, if you have any questions, fill it in here. I think if you haven't signed into Notion, on the top right, there's like a little edit button. Make sure you click on the edit button, and then you're able to actually write down. Oh, I think some people are, yeah, there you go. Isn't that cool? So yeah, so just play with that, and I'm going to continue on. All right. So content planning, this is really cool. I use the Kanban board. I have 3 segments of my podcast. So basically like 3 different series. It's called the Fireside Chat series. There's a Freelance Friday series, and then Aftermath. So what I've done is like, so I'll click in here. For my team, I just created this card, and it's a series description. And it's a good way for them just to know what this is about. Like, this series is all about everything freelancing, like how-tos, interviews for freelancers, blah, blah, blah. So just information. And then these are, so this is an episode I interviewed with the lovely Whitmire Vo. So I'll open this up. And so it has all this information, like it's assigned to me. I set the recording date, and then I have a published date. Who's my guest speaker, published and archived. Okay, so I finished this. So I'm gonna check that off, and then these are like this is advanced. It's like using formulas to make it more visible based on the inputs of what I'm putting in here. So, anyways, I have my outline podcast. This is a template actually, and I'll show you later on how I do that. But I have like notes here ready. I have like, guiding questions, what I can do, and then insights and highlights. So as I'm taking the podcast, I can take notes. And then the episode descriptions. This is, what I do. And then once I've completed this, I send this to my team who's editing the podcast, and then he knows, all the information, and he can put this to social media and things like that. So let's say I want to create a new podcast. So if I click on here, all right, so new episode. And now let's click on that. Now all this is like, I'm just going to quickly go through it. Assigned to me, recording date. Say I'm going to record it on Friday. I'm going to publish it next week. And then guest speaker, let's say Letitia. So now it automatically populates. You see that? So that's kind of cool. And then I've created this template here. So you click on it, and again, it like reproduces the format very quickly, saves you a lot of time. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, now I've created these 2 database views, and this is pulling from the same database here. So so all the information with like the dates here, it's just reformatting it into a calendar view. So now there's that new episode that I just created. And then if I want to move it here, say on the 22nd, it automatically updates to this database as well. So that's great for content planning. All right, so enough of that. So much more to share. Okay, user testing. This is really crazy. I spent quite a bit of time setting this up. So I was part of a startup. It's an ed tech company. And so I was kind of head of community management or whatnot. And so I was supposed to reach out to these teachers, and it's part of user research, right? So this is kind of like my landing page here. And so I have a database of like teachers. So this is an example. So I got like first name, last name, and then I identified them as I tag them as like they're E1 or E2, educator 1, educator 2, all that information. And the cool thing about this is actually you can import it. There's an import feature. You can collect information from a Google Forms. So I sent it out to like this, network of 2,000 teachers. They filled out the Google Forms. I imported the Excel spreadsheet, and it matched all the headings here, and it populated this table, which was great. And then from there, now I've created this educator database. And so now for user testing, let's say, okay, now I want to start scheduling user interviews. So I'm going to click new. Again, this is databases again. So I'm going to click new, and then I can go facilitator is me. I can now, this is an advanced feature. It's relating to another database that I created. So for example, this is, that database of teachers that I created. So I want to interview Heather. So I'm going to click on Heather. And then now this, again, these are all advanced features, but it pulls up the information automatically. I want to set the test date to next week on the 28th. And then the test type, I can do it in person or remote. Obviously, it's remote. It's COVID times. And then this is really cool. So I've, again, this is super advanced, but I'm just showing you what you can do with Notion. I've created two type of PDF documents that it's depending on the type of teacher or tag that I do. So if they're E1 or Educator 1, I'm going to follow a certain format of interviewing. So anyways, I'm going to use them as a E1. And then if I want, I can add in a Loom recording link here just for, reference purposes. And then again, these are templates. So I'm going to use a remote template. And you could customize your template any which way you want. For me, it's pretty robust. So I have these toggles. Again, I love toggles because it just minimizes all that stuff. But these are test procedures. So let's say now I'm ready to set up. It takes 1 hour prior to testing. So what does that include? So this is great because if I have a team member and I say, hey, can you just, interview this person, just click on the template here. All the steps I've created is all in here. So review the background, check. I prepared the documents, check. Prepared like the remote conferencing room, blah, 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 check. Set up laptop, things like that. So it's a good way just to systematically optimize your workflow. And then within that, I have test procedures. So this is going to take 30 minutes. So if I open this up, I have before the test. So like what to do. And then, again, just more prompts. So this is really neat. So I have a script here, which I kind of read to them. And I can just follow my script. It's awesome. So thank you so much for being here. When we work on products, this blah, 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 right? And just tell them. So again, it's a consistent experience. Okay, I feel like I'm taking up so much time. And then now when I take notes for user testing, I could categorize them under hesitations, bugs, blockages, things like that. And so I can write down she was having trouble on the home page, blah, 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 right? And so that's basically it. So this came from a template, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but yeah, that's that. And again, so now, okay, I'm just going to title that. So Heather Price. And again, it has its date. And because this arrow here means it's a linked database. It's linking to the same database here. But again, it's showing up as a calendar view. And again, for views, you can change it to status. This is great. Like I can check all the interviews that's under remote or in person. Okay, so that's that. What else can I share with you? Okay, real quick here. Here's a branding strategy workshop. This is great for sharing it to clients. So I actually did a summary, and this is for a real estate company. And yeah, I just they wanted to cater to people like George Clooney. And this is another database. It's under Gallery. It's called Gallery. And so when you click on that, all you do is you just attach an image, and then it shows up as the face of the card. So what I've done is summarize like brand inspiration, the personas, their why, their top 3 values. And then these are like branding attributes that I've done. I've used Kanban boards to, some prioritize like what would be their top 3 or top 5 attributes under culture or customer or voice, things like that. So logo test, like again, I can hide it in the toggle. These are all logo inspirations. This is Rachel's inspirations. And then I have my initial sketches. So I've sketched it. And again, I've just like attached photos in here. And see, it gets messy if you scroll up, but all you got to do is just close the toggles and it's nice and clean. And so when I share this page to my client, they have access to it, which is awesome. And they can comment on it. So that's that. Okay, this one's really cool. In terms of like sprint planning coordination. All right, so I got two databases here. I have a task, like a big task database, and then a task tracker. So these are like the big item stuff. So, you know, typical UX, you got your research, your planning, wireframes, strategy, and then these are the statuses, not started, in progress. So let's say completed strategy. The typical properties are created in here. I can create number of hours I budget. So let's say the actual here is 9.75. All right. So this is really neat. So I'm going to budget, say, 8 hours. So that means the actual is 9.75. I'm over budget. This, I've used a crazy formula where it calculates if it's like if this, then that. Like if it's over, then thumbs down. If it's under, then thumbs up. So it's just a nice, cool indicator. So let's say I do that. That's really neat. And then there's some notes. And so how this is calculated is each time I do, like, I track a task. So let's say strategy session, on this date, I spent 3 hours. And then another session I did 3.7 hours. And what it's doing is it's calculating, I'm tagging this specific task in the one day to the big overall like goal. And so again, I might have probably lost you guys, but it's really neat. You can just connect all these big goals into certain things. And this is a nice high level view. If it's thumbs up, good. I know I'm like under budget. If it's thumbs down, I know I'm over budget. So that's that. Oh man, I'm going over time. So, and okay, a cool thing is, like, I love having everything fall under one place. So Google Sheets. The awesome thing is you can actually literally embed a Google Sheet in here, and you don't have to open up another file or, again, like put it in Slack and stuff. It takes some time to load because this is a big sheet, but you can actually literally work Google Sheets inside Notion, and you can literally like edit on it. And if other people are on Google Sheet, you can see them on there. That blew me away. That was really awesome. So that's that. Project deliverables. Okay, this is for, I think someone was mentioned there in bootcamp. This is a project deliverable that I submitted for my bootcamp project. Again, this is like summarizing under research, planning, design, things like that. So let's say I shared this link to them, and then the teacher can just look at all the sketches. These are all like my PDFs here. If I want to do affinity diagram, I've actually digitized. So you guys are familiar with affinity diagrams. I actually digitized it in Kanban boards or cards. So that's really cool. I want to show you guys what I've done for user research. So contextual inquiry, like if you just, so this project was for a coffee company. So I actually visited coffee places. I took pictures, I added in here. I clicked on observations. I took down notes on what they were, what's the location, things like that. And I just copied and pasted it for different coffee locations to get my my research. And then again, my team members can always refer back to this, and all the information's there. It looks beautiful. It's really great. Use cases. Yeah. So I'm think user flow diagram. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. More PDFs and attachments. Things like that. So that's that for school projects and stuff like that. And that's it. I'm done. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of questions. So,
what happened?
let me finally finish up here.
Okay.
Thank you. Whoops. Yeah. So if you want to reach out to me, that's my Instagram handle, and you can visit collabcollective.ca. So thanks for your time. I know I took a lot of time, but I hope that was helpful for you guys.
Josh, it was amazing. The chat is on fire. We are all in love with Notion now. So two things: we are in love with Notion and
Yes.
with your voice. Everyone said you have a very good voice. So we are going to look for your podcast right now, and we are going to follow you like every day. We're going to listen to something. Thank you very much. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Pretty cool. Yeah, like I fell in love.
It's pretty powerful.
Amazing.
Cool. Yeah, actually, Padma, we are going to work in right now after the meeting. We are going to set up that Notion we have.
Yeah. So I could help you with, IterateUX, definitely.
Yay, nice.
Yay!
So, Josh, you have all the questions there. You
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
ahead. And
We have 7 minutes to answer.
Yeah. And
Let's
does
see
this mean we're not getting into breakout rooms and stuff?
No, because we didn't have that much time until
Oh, no.
8:30. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
No worry.
All right. So I have some questions. How would you recommend combining design ops with dev sprints? Right. So, I showed you guys that sprint planning. I wonder if should I just like share my screen again, or yeah, maybe I'll share my screen.
You can do it.
I'll try to answer most of your questions. All right. So DevOps and design ops. Basically, if you go here, this is like the bigger picture. So let's say under wireframes, I open this up. I got low fidelity wireframes, mid fidelity, high fidelity. Design sprints are separate. They come before developer sprints, but there can be an overlap. And what you can do is just kind of use this like task tracker to assign certain. So task type, like, is this under design UX? Is it under development? Is it under like branding and things like that? So you can do multiple. So if this is a strategy, let's say this is design. Okay, I'm going to change this. So I can change this as a multi-select. So now I can have, this is design and development. And so there's so much to show, but I could actually filter stuff out. So I could filter things that are, so task type contains design and development, and then it just filters out like design. So that's one way to do it, but again, it's kind of like coordination. All right, next question. It's like lightning round. Helpful templates. Okay, guys, this is the best. If you're new to Notion, I would highly recommend go to start a new page. Okay, and before typing into anything, this template button here, it provides all these pre-assigned templates. This thing blew my mind. This is where I got all my inspiration. So under design, there's like roadmap templates that's already done for you. There's like meeting notes. That's all done for you. A design system. This is crazy. Like all your colors, your logos. You can click in here.
Just a quick question. Is this paid?
This is free. This is all for free.
Come on.
That's why I'm a huge, like, Notion should be paying me this to promote them. But yeah, that's under templates. So I would spend time looking into that. That would probably be my biggest advice. Okay, any great tutorials? Notion's YouTube website or YouTube channel is pretty good. There's this amazing guy, Conrad Lin. I interviewed him. He took Notion to a whole new level. But again, that'll be another thing. Any tips on how to use Notion for creating case studies? I think I kind of answered that with the deliverables. What tools have you replaced with Notion? What tools do you still need to use that Notion hasn't developed features for? Okay, honestly, I think my whole life is on Notion. It's really great because you can, again, like just incorporate all these apps in here, which is great. Okay, the biggest downside is it doesn't connect with Google Calendar. So that's like the biggest thing. But I think it's getting there. They're going to develop an API soon with Zapier integrations, and that's going to be a game changer. Do you use any particular name conventions for your files? That depends on just my projects, but I can. Do people have to sign up or? Okay, yeah. No. So if you go to share here and you click on share to web, you can toggle it on and off. So if it's open, now it says anyone can link it, but you can actually change like options, right? These are just like sharing permissions. So you can open it up to the public. So for example, my Collab Collective website, I've linked, we created a job board. It's actually a Notion database. Actually, I'll quickly show you. The job board is here. So I created it in Notion, and this is actually connected to our website. So we want to help people find jobs, and we have opportunities, and the database is stored in Notion, and it's again shared in a link. So that's very, very cool. All right, 2 minutes. Any info on how to use Notion to create a portfolio? You know what? I was thinking of doing that. You totally can. I'll show you something that I did for applying for a company. So I embedded like a video and I said, hello. This is totally me being extra for sure. But timestamps. But this is a mini like portfolio. So under Kanban boards, I like if the company wants to look at my site mapping skills, I've attached like examples in here.
1 minute.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that. And then like low fidelity wireframes. I've just attached it and they can take a look. So it's a nice way to like present your portfolio. Oh, this is a really cool thing. I uploaded my InVision prototype in Notion. I can open this as a full screen. It's going to load. This will probably be the last thing I share. Can we like hang out a little longer if people want to?
For me,
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. So this is a working prototype in InVision. It's nuts. So that's really cool. And you can resize it however you want. And with that, my time is up. So yeah.
great. Yay!
All right. We can go to bonus hours if you guys just still want to look at stuff, or we can just open it up for discussion. But
well, it looks like a really powerful tool. So it looks really, really great. I'm wondering if it, on a user research level, that what you were showing was really interesting. If it replaces like Dovetail, or if you can tag your qualitative data and things like that as well in Notion.
Dovetail, is that a program?
Yeah, I've just gotten familiar with it recently, actually. It's just for qualitative data analysis. So it was something that I was going through. But maybe Notion has an extension or a plugin or whatever that you can connect to it. I don't know.
Yeah. So in terms of like integration, they're still working on that. That's like once that happens, it'll blow up like crazy. But I think if you want to create like your own table database in there, and then have a link to, I don't know what type of qualitative data, or quantitative, but you can tag it under certain stuff, and then you can have it easily accessible through there.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, do you have any other question for Josh? I think I need to say thank you so much for this, because it's really useful. I think organizing all the tasks we have in IterateUX and outside in normal life, oh my gosh. It's so fucking cool.
again, I think I would explore those template options. That'll give you the inspiration to like organize everything. There's like personal habit tracking templates, which is great, or like cooking recipes. Basically, it acts as like a good repository. So for companies, it acts as a good wiki. So if you guys use like Confluence, Jira, Atlassian, I honestly think it replaces that like very easily. So to give some context for Notion, like if you're a person who likes to create customized layouts and customize systems, then this is your tool. Otherwise, it'll be like people actually get overwhelmed by it because you have to think too much. But I'm speaking to the choir here. Like we're all UX designers. We're all about creating our own systems and stuff like that. So it should be a good tool for you guys.
Yes, definitely. We should. We are going to stop right now, Vicky and Pat. Right?
Yeah.
Not right now, but yeah, we are going to work on that. So thank you for so much. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and follow the podcast. It's really interesting. Someone has some interesting topic that you want to share from Josh?
Yeah. You know what? In this Notion page, I will create a new column, podcast topics, and you guys can just fill it in. That way, that'd be great. And then I can look into it and I can reach out to you. If you want to contact me, just hit me up on Instagram. I am not the best in replying right away just because like new lifestyle with it, being a dad and everything, but I'll try my best to get back to you.
Okay, wait, we have to write up. So thank you so much, everybody, to come. And next week, we are going to have Priscilla who creating this a new topic for different between, I think, is the service design in product design or something similar. So it's going to be in meetup. Sorry for that. It's just we set up today the topic. So yeah, I hope I can see you next week. And thank you, Daniel, for being the new volunteer for IterateUX, and Sebastian as well. Thank you for participating.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for putting this on.
Yay!
If I'd love to I can create another Zoom channel. I'd love to connect with you guys because I felt like I just did all the talking. So if anyone wants to hang out after, maybe we can do that.
You want to?
I'm going to bed.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think Daniel is
Yeah, well, Toronto, so it's like 11:30
right.
over here.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a great talk. Thanks for putting us on and showing us around.
You're talking in Discord. Let's talk.
Right. Yeah, I'll send a Zoom link in Discord.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to edit and post it in YouTube channel. So keep an eye open for tomorrow in Discord. I am going to